Today on CityCast Nashville, we're talking with two women making waves in the retail scene here in town. Julie Hollis and Shannon Clemens, owners of The Plus Closet, were just recognized in the Nashville Scene's Best of Nashville issue as a Reader's Poll Best New Business and Best Clothing Consignment. And that's not all. They also received a special shout out in the scene from our very own CityCast Nashville contributor, Margaret Littman, as the best retail community. In this episode, we learned that their local business, The Plus Closet, is much more than just a clothing store. It's a safe space where customers can find community, clothes that fit, and a whole lot of fun. And hey, stick around after the interview for our special segment, A Mile in Their Boots, sponsored by Tecovas. We're spotlighting people who shape the culture and community of Nashville. Today, we'll be going inside a day in the life of Jacob Hendrickson, a mechanical engineer for the Escape game. It's Wednesday, November 13th. I'm Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Julie, I'm going to start with you. You owned the vintage store Retro Vibe in the exact same location prior to opening the Plus Closet. Why did you decide to close one store and then partner with Shannon to open another?
Well, sustainability is really important to me, and it has been for a long time, which is sort of how I got into the vintage reselling business in the first place, is that when you're thrifting and you find all of this awesome stuff, like one person can only have so much stuff, right? So I was in a corporate job. I was getting very burnt out, very tired, especially after COVID. And I think that at least for me, I was really searching for a sense of community, and the vintage idea really kind of fulfilled that idea for me. And so I decided that I was going to take the leap and I was just going to open a store and see how it did. And it was open for, it was open about 6 or 7 months, and I loved every minute of it, but really it wasn't sustainable for the long run. And so I was trying to think of what else could I do that could still be sustainable, but might be a little more successful. And I had been kind of toying around with the idea of like a locally owned buy-sell trade store. So sort of a locally owned Buffalo Exchange, if you will. And I literally had written down some notes about how that process might work the day I met Shannon.
Whoa.
And so we met one night at a dinner party, and she mentioned opening a clothing store. And I was like, this is... sometimes you wonder if it's just fate. It has to be that we sat next to each other and she mentioned this. And then I was like, you're not going to believe this, but I literally wrote down some ideas about this today. And the rest is kind of history. It just sort of moved quickly from there once we decided, hey, stranger, let's open a store together.
Wow.
It moved, and we were open within, I guess, about 8 weeks of meeting each other. So yeah, we had a lot of trust had to go into that process for sure.
A lot of lawyers.
When the universe kind of pushed us together, we just had to go with it. We couldn't deny that like everything was falling into place for a reason. And so we took the leap.
And so for any Nashvillians who are listening right now who aren't familiar with your store, can you give us your pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are the Plus Closet. We are a secondhand plus size store. We carry sizes extra large up to 6X and bigger. We currently are taking in garments from the public. You make an appointment on our website, you bring it in, we'll exchange it for store credit. And so we can help to meet that sustainability need, keep items out of the landfills, and really connect people to be able to access all of these plus size brands that traditionally would mostly just be available online. So you're accessing brands that you otherwise would have to purchase online, have shipped to you. You'd have to buy extras. You got to make sure you have enough time, hope they come in time for your event, ship them back if they don't work. We're going to help you to kind of eliminate a lot of those stressors and give you a beautiful place to come in and actually shop in person and try things on, which, as we know, as plus size people, is something that's severely lacking in the retail market. So we're really trying to hit a number of different points as far as like sustainability and access and community, and really having that boutique experience for our customers.
Yeah, I was just in the Green Hills Mall yesterday trying on jeans and left crying. So I know all about that. And even like in the most recent trips to some vintage stores on Gallatin, I've left upset as well. So I'm curious how you aim to create such a positive, supportive shopping experience for your clients.
I think more than anything, we Try to encourage people to love their body where you're at. We tell people all the time, the sizing is made up. You may wear multiple sizes across multiple brands, and you may think you know what size you are, but you may go to try something on and it doesn't fit. So we encourage people to try on a variety of items and a variety of sizes, because you never know. You never know what's going to actually end up fitting you. But I think the biggest way we can support our customers is just meet your body where it's at. Love it where it's at. It's not a failure that you're wearing clothes that fit you. It's actually a success that you find great, cute clothes that fit you. And that's really our goal, is to give our customers a variety of fun, current trends, and not, looking like you may have just walked out of the Kastner Knot with your grandma. We try to have a wide variety of clothing, but we really do want to focus on quality items, closet staples, and also some fun, trendy items. If you've got special events you want to go to and you're not sure what to wear, we love helping people find the pieces that they're looking for. We like helping them style items in different ways that they may not have thought of. So more than anything, I think just supporting people, helping them see their bodies as literally just a vessel to live your life. I think that's our biggest goal in our retail community.
So if I were to go in, do you give recommendations on clothing that maybe I wouldn't necessarily try on, but I'm not a stylist, but it seems like you both have really amazing style, so I would trust your opinion. So are you offering this type of expertise to the people that come in your store?
Yeah, absolutely. We really do love to help everybody. We're going to meet them where they're at. Some people are, they want to shop for themselves and they want to pick out their own things, and that's great. Some people really want a lot of help. We love to pull things, get people to try things that they otherwise wouldn't have. My favorite thing is to try to get everyone to put on a jumpsuit. If you've never found a jumpsuit that fits you properly, you know that when you put on the jumpsuit that's not right, it's really not right. It's just very wrong. But when you put on that one where everything fits right, it's so amazing. So getting people in the fitting room, having them try on things that they wouldn't have pulled off the rack for themselves, or that, for whatever reason, we all have these made up rules in our heads about what we can or should or shouldn't wear, the trying on clothes space, so we can really get people to kind of step outside of the ideas that they think they have to wear and kind of try something new. We really want them to leave just feeling their best, which is really what the clothes are about. It's not about the brand. It's not about the cost. It's not about the size. It's about how it makes you feel. I know for me personally, when I put on an outfit that I love, whether it's super dressed up for a night out or it's just a casual outfit, if it makes me feel good, I feel good about the way I am, I present that energy to the world. I mood in the world as a completely different person because I feel so good. And the clothes help to facilitate that. So we just really want to do that for our customers.
Wow. Thank you so much for doing that for people in town. I love spreading joy, and it sounds like y'all do too. Can you share any stories of past customers whose lives you've impacted in your store?
I absolutely love, if you've ever been to the store when we've had a bunch of people in the dressing room at once, it's like an automatic community. Everybody is hyping each other up. They come out and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing on you. Like, oh, it's such a great color. But on the flip side, we're also going to be honest with you. And we're going to tell you, maybe that's not the right garment for your body. There's nothing wrong with your body. It's just not the right garment for you. But it might be the right garment for someone else. So, just that supportive community type of environment, I think helps a lot. You don't get that when you go to Torrid or when you go to Lane Bryant. You don't have people there hyping you up, telling you honestly how something looks on you. And I feel like that's something we do really well, or we try to do really well for our customers. But then on the flip side, you also have people that don't really want to be bothered when they're shopping or trying on. And we try to respect that as well. Though sometimes if we hear somebody say something looks cute, you might see our heads pop around the corner of the fitting room because we need to see what you're put on, what you got on, what you're wearing. So yeah, that's part of what I love about our store and our customers is just seeing the joy on people's faces when they find that right garment.
I just think for me, I've grown up plus size. I've been plus size basically my whole life, especially since puberty. And I've always been a fashion girl. I've always loved to shop, but I didn't get to have that experience growing up of going to the mall with my friends and trying things on. So when I hear a gaggle of ladies in the back, giggling and laughing and having a great time and just feeling so great. It feeds the young girl inside me who didn't get to have those experiences. And I so want to create them for the future, younger people and for older people too. I love to see the older ladies come in and find something they love, as well as the young people. We exude joy because it gives us joy too.
Well, I love that when Margaret wrote her article for the scene for the Best of Nashville issue, gave the award for Best Retail Community. And I thought that was just such an interesting way of putting it. And it makes it sound very much like it is a community that you can go there. It's a safe space, which is so rare when you're shopping for clothes. I mean, I know we all just get so triggered when we walk into any dressing room with the fluorescent lights and the weird mirrors and it's just so triggering. So it sounds like also she described your store as a dopamine delight for shoppers. How did you design your store with that in mind? What's the vibe?
Well, Julie did have the space already and she loves purple. So we started with the foundation of these gorgeous purple walls, these what do you call it? It's like is it Gen Z purple? That's the shade that I call it now. It used to be millennial pink. Now it's Gen Z purple. So we really just kind of leaned in. And I think one of the things for Julie and I is that we are not sad beige girlies. We love an aesthetic moment. We love a neutral moment, but it doesn't resonate with us as much. We love color. We love pattern and texture. I think the clothes in the space reflect that. And I think the way that we style it reflects that. But also we intentionally set up the space to be functional for people who exist in larger bodies. We made sure that when you're walking down the aisle or in between racks and you're holding stuff, you're not going to be worried about knocking things over. There's enough space. We've got extra seating. We took a lot of attention in our fitting rooms. One of our favorite things is when people walk around that corner to the fitting rooms for the first time and they go, oh, it's so beautiful back here. And then they find that we have great big mirrors. We've got great benches. We have fans in the fitting rooms. They are very large. We've had 2, 3, 4 people in a fitting room at a time. We've had my very good friend who has a wheelchair, her partner, and her service dog all in the fitting room at the same time. So creating that space where it's not just us welcoming you, but you're coming into the space and you can see, okay, this space was made for me. I can just enjoy this experience here.
Oh, you both are so cool. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about the sustainability aspect of the Plus Closet. I'm here with Julie Hollis and Shannon Clemens from the Plus Closet. Can you tell us what you mean by secondhand shopping is good for the environment?
Sure. So the idea behind it is that, we basically consider ourselves a community closet. So when you're cleaning out your closet, maybe you have items that no longer fit or items that you no longer wear, or maybe you have items that you forgot that you purchased that still have tags on them. And you're like, oh, dadgum, I forgot that I bought this 3 years ago. It's been hiding back here. The idea is that the customers can bring in these items and sell them to us and get store credit and basically shop for new items for themselves. That way they're not tossing things into landfill, or they're not donating to an organization that may be tossing it in the landfill instead of actually putting it on the racks to sell. And we know as plus size people that there are limited options in the secondhand market for purchasing clothes, that, it's not that these clothes don't exist. It's that there's such a demand for plus size clothing in the secondhand market that the good pieces get snatched up pretty quick from the thrift stores. For us, having a place where you can come in and it's basically a curated selection of items. So, Shannon and I go through every single item that is brought in, and we make a decision on whether or not this is something that we want to put onto our floor. Shannon and I, we have pretty different styles. So it's good to have, 2 opinions on items as they come in, because maybe Shannon likes it, but I don't, or maybe I like it or Shannon don't. Maybe neither one of us really like it, but we know that it's just because it's not our style doesn't mean that it's not someone else's style. Kind of going back and forth. Sometimes we have to negotiate on some items, but again, we try to bring in items that are good quality. I know that in a lot of cases that natural fibers are preferable to synthetics. So, we do try to let people know, especially when it comes to like our sweaters, that if there's a wool content, because some people have, have allergic reactions or issues with wool. But more than anything, yes, we do want to focus on that sustainability, because a lot of items that we get in are still new with tags, or it's an item that someone may have cut the tags off of with the intention of wearing it, but never actually wore it. So, we still have a lot of new items in our store, but basically we call it a community closet. When you get something from our store, you may wear it for an event, and when you're done with it, you can come back and sell it back to us and someone else can enjoy it, because every once in a while you're going to have an event where you're going to buy something for it and you're never going to wear that again, but someone else may want to. So that's sort of our purpose. And it also brings us a lot of joy to see, like I know one time Margaret brought in a dress, and she was like, I loved it, but I never had an opportunity to wear it. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to go try this on. And I went and tried it on, and it fit me perfectly. And then I ended up going on a cruise, and I took that dress, and, and she's like, it just, Margaret said it made her so happy to know that even though she never got to wear it, that someone else got to experience the joy of having that dress. And guess what? What did I do with it when I was done? I brought it back to the store and, passed it on to someone else. So that's a fun experience too.
Clothing waste is like one of the biggest contributors to landfills and to waste in general. So keeping fashion circular, keeping it in the circle of what's able to be shopped and what's able to be worn, and giving stuff a second and third life. Like now we've gotten to where we're almost a year in, and we're starting to see some stuff that we once sold return back to the store. And it's going to have not just a second life, it's going to have a third life, and so forth and so on. The garments that are high quality, and they need to stay in that circle so that we're not having to purchase so much and overconsume and then throw out so much. So that circular fashion is really the key, I think, to the sustainability of it all.
As an avid recycler, I love to hear that. So you both are amazing content creators, and I saw that you do a live stream every Sunday on social media. If somebody is tuning in from out of state, do you, by any chance, ship nationwide?
Yeah, we do ship nationwide. So we have a live sale on Sundays at 11 a.m. Central Time on Instagram and Facebook. So you can purchase from that. You can also watch the replay. We always post it on our social media feeds. Afterwards, you might not be able to stay and hang out the whole time. It usually lasts about right at an hour. We just do it in the store an hour before we open. Often we have people pulling up outside that are watching us on their phones, and they come in to try on the stuff that we just showed on the live, which we love. And then we also post new arrivals throughout the week. Because we have appointments on every day that we're open, we're constantly getting new stuff in, sometimes 10, 20, 30, many, many items a day. So we post those on our social media. So you can also just message us from our stories or through our direct messages and say, hey, I love this sweater. I want it. Can you ship it to me? Or even for our local people, they can say they can pay for it, and then we'll just hold it in the store and they can pick it up the next time they come in.
Oh, that's a cool way to reserve your favorite item that you see.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the favorites do go fast. They don't hang out very long.
Sometimes things will come in and we'll be like, oh, this would be great for Margaret, or, such and such would love, this is a great color. This is in her color palette. This is in her style. Because as our customers, come in more often, we get familiar with them and we get familiar with what they're purchasing and what their style is. And also, we have, if there's anything specific that someone is looking for, we have that option that we can, pull from what we have on the racks. We also offer mystery boxes that you can say, hey, I'm a teacher and I'm looking for, work appropriate clothes in this color palette, but I hate stripes, or, I don't wear, jeans. Can you help? And we'll put together a mystery box for them of items that we have on our floor. So it's fun for them to see what we've pulled, and it's fun for us to see if we've hit the mark. And I would say everyone that we've done, I think that we've hit the mark pretty well on all of our mystery boxes that we pulled together so far. So I think we're pretty good at that.
Wow. Who knew you could get your own personal shopper in Dawn Donaldson.
Yes.
That is amazing. I want to know now, what future goals do you have for the Plus Closet?
Oh, what don't we have?
We can probably rattle off the list. Right now, we're really looking just for more people to know that we exist. The more people that know that we exist, the better.
Mm-hmm.
We're sort of combating this issue of plus size shoppers not even realizing that shopping in person secondhand is even a thing that they can even consider. They can't
Right.
Google to look for us if they don't even consider that it's even an option. So just letting people know that we exist, that's a huge thing for us. We really want a bigger space. We want to take in more stuff. We want to have bigger fitting rooms. So we absolutely are on the hunt to move soon. We don't have any finalized plans or anything like that, but it's definitely something that we are looking to do. And I think for me personally, I know something that Julie and I had talked about a lot is focusing on that community, building the community, having community events, whether that be something that we have in our store or in a bigger space, or even something like a pool day in the summer or a fashion show. We've got a couple of other small plus size boutiques here in Nashville that are small, locally owned boutiques. We're thinking about partnering with them and how we can kind of bring everyone together to really build that larger community, turn Nashville into a plus size shopping destination for everybody.
Can you just remind our listeners how to find you on the internet so they can give you a follow and tell all their friends?
Honestly, the easiest way is to Google the Plus Closet Nashville. We do have a website. It is a very long website. But if you Google the Plus Closet Nashville, the website will be one of the first options that pops up. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under our handle of the Plus Closet Nashville. That's our handle on all of our social media platforms. And we are located at 2517 Lebanon Pike in the Donaldson area of Nashville. So we're open Wednesday through Sundays, and we would love to see anyone that would like to come in and see what we're all about. Please come in anytime, try on anything and everything in the store. Our only rule is no apologizing for the number of items that you take back to the fitting room, because people so many times, like I'll go up to people and ask, do you want me to start you a fitting room? And they're like, I'm so sorry, I have so many items to try on. And we're like, no, that's literally the whole point. We want you to try on. Stay here for 5 hours. Try on everything. That's what we want. That's our goal. So that's our one rule. Don't apologize, because you have nothing to apologize for.
Wow. Well, thank you both so much for being here. And thank you for creating this absolutely incredible store for the community here in Nashville. We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, don't go anywhere. In just a second, our executive producer, Whitney Pastrick, will be walking a mile in the boots of Jacob Hendrickson, a mechanical engineer for the Escape game, in a segment sponsored by Tecovas.
Hey y'all, it's CityCast executive producer Whitney Pastrick, and I am here with Jacob Hendrickson, who is a mechanical engineer at the Escape game, which, fun fact, actually started in Nashville, right, Jacob?
That's correct. Our first locations were here in Nashville.
How on earth did you get into this?
I went to MTSU to get a mechanical. It's actually a mechatronics engineering degree. Mechatronics is it's kind of like a mix between mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and computer engineering. And I did all that with the full intent of working somewhere doing animatronics.
Like the band at Chuck E. Cheese?
That's right. Exactly that. Exactly that. But I was hoping to do better than Chuck E. Cheese, you know, like that was, I love the theme parks. I'm a big Disney guy, and there's a company in Nashville as well that did that work. So I ended up getting a job there through a mutual friend, and worked there for quite a long time until I decided to try something different and made my way to the Escape game.
If someone goes into an Escape game, what is an aspect that they would see that you created? Just an example. Don't give away any secrets.
Sure, I won't. I promise. I swear. Pretty much anything that's built out into the room that has a function, right? So if there's any kind of like hidden mechanisms or doors that swing open by themselves, or, you know, cabinets that pop open, or anything that you place an object into something and another thing happens, right, to get you further through your story. That's something that I would have put my hands on.
All right, let's walk a mile in your boots. What do you do in an average day?
On the best days, right, we go in and we have a new game that we're designing. So there's a team that works close in hand with us to design the actual like story and the theming of the game itself. And they kind of go through and describe to us what they want these things to do and what they want them to look like. A lot of collaboration and back and forth between those teams, myself, my team, and that game design team. We're able to put out some different prototypes and different things like that. We have a shop full of carpenters and painters and assembly people and all that kind of stuff that take what we design and put it into real life, put it all together so that the games team can then say, oh, can you make it a little taller? Could it be green instead of blue? All that kind of stuff until they feel like it's perfect for what needs to be in the store.
Have you ever had something that you just could not get to work? And what was it?
Yes, absolutely. In our most recent game that we designed, there's a pretty big finale piece. It's kind of our hero cabinet in this entire thing, right? It has several functions. It does a bunch of different stuff. And we got pretty much to the end of it and could not get some of it to function. Like one of the major portions of it just would not act right. We couldn't get everything adjusted. It just didn't feel right and it didn't act right. So we basically had to start over. It was cool to see everybody kind of come together and figure out, well, what can we do? If this isn't going to work, how can we make something work, And unfortunately, in my line of work, I have to kind of bring things back to reality more often than not. The games team will be like, can we make this thing fly? And I'll be like, that's a really difficult ask, right? It's like, I haven't invented magic and I'm not going to do it anytime soon. So we're going to have to pick something else,
Oh, man, we believe in you. You can get there.
Maybe.
Well, given that the escape game has become such a big part of the tourist scene here in Nashville, as well as something special for locals, how does it fit into our culture? How does it build community?
I mean, well, right out of the gate, one of the first games that they ever designed was a Nashville themed game, right? So the idea behind it is you're trying to break into a music studio and discover a lost record, right? Like right out of the gate, it tied itself to the city and to everything that Nashville is kind of about. So it's like you get to do something that you wouldn't normally get to do.
It also literally builds community because you can't do this by yourself, right? You can't get out of an escape game as one person.
It's real hard. There are some people that go in there that are really all about it and really want to get their way out, but it's so much better with friends. It's so much better. I was a big time fan before I ever decided to work there. And that was always the best part to me, is getting to do this kind of stuff with your buddies.
CityCast Nashville is not just about news, it's also about great recommendations. So at the end of a long day, when you've built something super cool to trap people in a room and you want to go relax, what's your pick?
Well, my wife and I are big proponents of East Nashville Beer Works. We're brewery people and we're cider people and drinking people, and East Nashville Beer Works is one of the places we always like to go. They're actually building a location really close to our house. I live in Lebanon, Tennessee, so they're building one out here by us, and we'll have an even better commute to get our pizza and our beer, which is excellent.
Thank you so much. Jacob, if people want to check out the Escape Game, I'm assuming the best way to do that is to go to theescapegame.com to learn more.
That's the way. That's the best way to do it. You're a couple clicks away from, getting out there.
From glory.
That's right.
Or for crushing failure.
True. Also true. It really does hurt when you don't make it out. It's the worst.
Well, we'll have that link for everybody in our show notes. Thank you so much for being here, Jacob. I loved this. And I think you might have one of the coolest, most unexpected jobs of anybody I've ever met. So thanks for being here.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And go ahead and do yourself a favor and follow the Plus Closet Nashville on social media. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!